Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how AI image generators work, okay? So, the most famous one that everyone knows is called DALL-E, but people think it's ChatGPT. DALL-E is behind ChatGPT, okay? So, I asked it to make an image of a giraffe eating an apple. Here is the image that it generated, right? So, this is my text, and this is the image that came out of it, right? So, how do these things work exactly, right? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that, sorry, I'm going to grab something really quick. So now, the first thing you need to understand is that we have an image, right? How do we teach an AI to look at this image, train on it, and make something similar, right? So the key is you need to actually pair it with something else, right? So you need to create like a table of some sort, right? You need to create a table of some sort. So let's say I get a table right here of like whatever, and I merge these together, merge cells, right? So let's say I have this table, right? And this table is like training data. Let me fix the text to be white so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry. Training data, right? And we'll just put that here in the center. Okay, cool. So we need to have, I need to delete this row. Sorry, this column, delete column. Yeah. So we have a training table like this, okay? Where it's images on the left, and on the right, we need something else. The thing that we're missing is we're missing the description, okay? So each image, you must attach a description to that image, and then from there, you will send this image, right? You're going to send this pair over to the AI model itself, okay? So when you're training it. So we're going to send it over to this guy right here. We'll call it AI. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Cool. So you send it over to this guy here, and then it will learn. So it will learn how to generate images by you training it on images and descriptions. And now, when you like talk to the AI, you must hit it with a description, and it will give you an image, right? That's similar to it. Okay. So you pretty much have to create a bunch of different rows of data with images that also include a description, right? One second. I love when things want to act funny. What is this? What is this? Stop that. What in the world? Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to move this thing right here. All right, yeah, cool. So you get the idea. Yeah. Granted, it's actually probably the same AI model will get trained on these things, right? So you get the idea. So pretty much, what I'm trying to draw out here is that you just make a bunch of rows of data, right? You'll make a bunch of rows of data with images and descriptions to train the AI model. So now when you ask it a certain description, it will try to recreate that image. And that's pretty much it. That's exactly how they work, how they're trained. Right, the process is obviously more granular, where it creates noise and it tries to, refine the noise. So when you're looking up this on your own and researching the steps, you're going to hear the words refinement and noise come up. Noise is just something that's not the target thing. If I ask for a box image and it produces a bunch of white space with like brown everywhere, that's kind of like noise. Noise is just not the target, but it refines the noise to get an image that kind of looks similar to what we have. Because the thing is, these models will generate something random at first, right, to make sure that it's random and original, and from there, it'll try to turn that random thing into the thing you asked for, right? So that's pretty much how it works. It's almost as if like we got a circle shape, right? If we had a circle shape here, and let me remove this, and you ask it to make you a box, first it'll just make a circle. It's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna make a circle at first, right? Then it'll make this circle kind of become like a oval maybe, right? It might be like, okay, I'm gonna squish it down. It wants to make a box, right? So, okay, cool. We need to make a box. I'll squish it, and that doesn't work. It's like, all right, cool. And keep in mind, like the AI is just doing this kind of randomly. So then it tries to make a corner. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make like a corner right here. Cool. So this is closer to being a box, right? So it's like, all right, bet, cool, cool. I'm getting closer and closer. Then it'll soon figure out that okay, I need to have like a square, right? It's like, oh, I need to have a square shape, right? And then from here, then the models are going to realize, okay, it needs to be 3D. There's multiple squares here. And that's how you'll end up with this shape. and then then they'll add color and stuff like that. So first, so this would be like black and white probably at first, or maybe a bunch of random colors, and then they'll fix the colors later. Then they'll add like the lighting and the shading, and that's kind of how the process goes. So it starts with something very, sorry. So it starts with something very random, and it tries to slowly make the thing you asked for, like the shape that it started with, it tries to turn it into the thing you asked it for, right? And that's pretty much how they work. Also, what you guys understand that images are made up of pixels. So the idea is that, matter of fact, let me just give y'all a new one. All right, let me show you. Let me try to explain this really quick for you guys. So, an image is pretty much like, one second. Yeah, let me do a table like this. This is an image, right? An image is pretty much a bunch of numbers, right? And the idea is that these numbers represent colors, right? And a lot of the time, what like yeah, like the numbers represent colors, and then when you have a bunch of these called pixels, essentially you create your image. So a lot of the time, people don't realize that an image is just a bunch of numbers, but the numbers are turned into colors later. That's what's happening. So when the AI is trained, it's actually trained on numbers that we just translate later for it into being something else. So let's say like this zeros means black. That means the image has like a black border, right? And then on the inside can be like one, and then maybe six, and then one, and then seven. Like I wrote six and seven. And this is pretty much how it looks. So when the AI is seeing an image, it's not seeing colors; it's seeing numbers. That's how it's seeing these things. Okay, and that's essentially the most basic understanding or the most basic and simple explanation of how these image generators work. All right. Now, if you want to learn AI from me one on one, if you want me to teach AI to a class, to your coworkers, to your employees, if you want me to build AI products, AI automations for you, if you want me to design things for you, if you want me to come in and help with AI integration into the business, anything where you need AI questions or business validation and stuff like that, please reach out to me about any of these things or more, right? My email is in the description below. Please feel free to reach out to me. But all right, guys, that's it for this video, and please check out the rest of this series. Peace.